All right, this is once again Tiger the Great, aka Delacroix for Unreal SP, and today is gonna be the first of a series of videos devoted to the Unreal Beta prototypes, Unreal Alpha and Beta prototypes. Now, as you can see from the folder, there is a total of 18 builds of the game that were recovered. That's an astonishing amount. Uh, I believe exactly 3 of them were leaked by the Where is scene, and the remaining ones were recovered through various means, mostly by Leo Tichike, a known Unreal community member, archivist. Now, the development of Unreal was a tumultuous one, was a messy one. I don't believe they had a proper game plan. While there are documents regarding development, ideas, storyline, level list, many of that was changed in one way or another. So it wasn't organized as we know it. That's for sure. There's plenty of those documents, including Tim Sweeney's log file of work. There are 2 of those log files that help us learn about various licensees of the Unreal Engine, including very early adoptees, various features of the engine that were added and removed as time went by. Now, when did this start? Some of these have 1996 timestamp, but those timestamps aren't very reliable. Oh, and this data.dxf is the oldest file I can see. No. Yeah, because DOS4GV doesn't count because that's more of a internal Microsoft DOS utility. Anyway, the first work was done likely across 1994 and 1995. Levels were drawn on paper then, but models of various characters and weapons have been created. Nearly none of that survived to the final version. Some of this we'll see in a moment. This is a DOS utility. I would have to set up a DOSBox installation to showcase that. I'm not really good with analyzing editors or slight changes to the engine, so forgive me if my commentary is lacking. I refer you to Leo Tichike's very informative posts on the subject on various forums. Don't be skeptical because of him being banned here and there. I don't believe it's entirely his fault. Many situations were out of his control. So, uh, banned or no on a given forum, if, say, you enter the beta archive topic discussing Unreal, you'll see that many of his posts contain plethora of knowledge. But this isn't gonna be a lecture. I would like to showcase some of that, showcase some of the discoveries. Anyhow, the earliest possible build of Unreal is from September 1995. That's almost 4 years, 3.5 years before the game even came out. So basically, nothing survived. The executable doesn't even have an icon. It runs on a very old Visual Basic version, Visual Basic 3.0, and it was compiled on 2.0. So on many operating systems, this alpha will not run natively. There are people who claim that it runs for them. There are people who claim that it doesn't. As you can see, I'm one of the latter. I just clicked it. It showed the log window, but didn't save any text. But it didn't show the game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna launch a PC emulator called PCM with installation of Windows 95, and I'm gonna run the prototype that way. Observe, please. As you can see, this is a Spanish installation, and I'm running it on a Polish installation of Windows 11. I'm a Pole. But I didn't bother installing Windows 95 myself. I used a pre-configured installation for another game that I cleaned out. I've set up this neat little wallpaper, as you can see, and the prototype is auto-launching on this setup. So now I'm gonna show you what's in there. As you can see, we have a female character. She also has a kick animation, but it isn't invoked here. If you remember the oldest screenshots of Unreal, it showed this character from this precise perspective. That's pretty much it for her. Alright, another monster that is seen here is the gargoyle. It also has no gameplay involved to it, so I cannot fight it. The only thing that survived from it are its wings. They changed color and they were assigned to the warlord. So the gargoyle can be seen somewhat as a very early concept for the warlord. It evolved from it. And last but not least, we have the dragon. Now I have no jump key, so you'll understand why I mention it, because I'm about to enter the building. As you can see, this structure is the only dammable thing in the entire map. It can be entered. And I cannot get out of this water body. So if I jump in there, that's it. There is no way out. See this glitch? You're probably thinking, what the actual hell happened here? And the truth is that there is corruption involved in here, namely corruption of animations. I'm gonna show you in a bit when I close this virtual machine what I mean by this. See, I cannot get out of here. And that's really it for this demo. It's the September 1995 Monster Preview. And to my experience, this is the only build of Unreal that does not run on Windows 11 natively. If it does for you, you're a very lucky person. One friend of mine tried to get down to the bottom of this as to why this works for him and not for me, but we came up with nothing, no ideas. So that's really it. I'm closing the virtual machine now. I'm closing the virtual machine now, and I'm gonna show you what exactly this corrupt mesh was. Wrong side. Prototypes, yes. Monster Tech Demo. This is an article on a site called The Cutting Room Floor. I didn't write it. Someone else did. The person who made this analysis and observed the fourth character in the demo. Here they describe it as an oddity, fitting. And now observe what it really is. We're calling it the wizard. It has no animations, or those that it was about to have were corrupt. Judging by what we see, we can safely assume that Unreal at this stage was largely inspired by Heretic and Hexen. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move to another build. Now the November 1995 build is 2 months younger than the September one. The Unreal Ed does not run for me at all. Unexpected error, quitting. Yes, very informative. But the game does. We have music! We have music. And boy, let me tell you how awestruck I was when I discovered this level, because do you see those crosses? If you ever read F. Paul Wilson's awesome novel The Keep, the main antagonist of it resides in a keep the walls of it are covered with strange crosses, and it has a centered meaning to it as to why those crosses are there, and they're everywhere. Remember the wallpaper that I've set on the virtual machine with the September build? Yeah, it comes from this map, and yet the pawns, the creatures, are not here. Funny thing that the help file mentions that the November and December builds have the woman, the dragon, and the gargoyle. Yeah, they don't. Okay? They don't. And there really isn't a straightforward way to put them. Leo TGK prepared maps that feature those characters on it, but in the maps that are officially in the leak, nothing is present. I can shoot those eyes that are actually light sources. And I can walk around, and that's pretty much it. The map is somewhat very simplistic in design, but there are seeds of what will come later. I'm shooting those eyes because that's pretty much the only thing I can do to shed some light on the situation. Because otherwise the level is horribly dark. No, the track never survived to the final version. Okay, that side of the level is explored in full. So we're gonna move up. Now the crosses are put sideways. Sorry, I'm gonna center it. I could risk the direct draw version, that would probably cause it to full screen, but I don't want a crash. At least not now. I could hop back down here through this alcove, but I won't. Now, Unreal was a very ambitious project from the get-go. It was supposed to become the Quake killer. But as you can see, this is 1995, this is November 1995, and that's all they had at the time. They had plenty ideas, but what they had, even though sometimes very technically impressive, it couldn't compete with Quake, which was a ready game. But it can also be interpreted as they mean as Quake killer, as in the Quake series killer, and then it would make much more sense because Unreal eventually released in May 1998. That was a few months after Quake 2 was released in 1997, and it honestly blew me out of the water. Quake 2 is an awesome game, but it has nothing on Unreal, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much how Unreal started. What we're seeing here is a game in its absolute infancy. No gameplay, just exploration of lazily textured, big but empty level. Something pushes me away, so I can't find my way downstairs. In the build that is compiled a month later in December, dropping down this alcove just crashes the game. Okay, but there is another level in the game files here that is called Big Level, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a switch. But before that, I'm gonna try the full screen mode. Yeah, as expected, trying full screen mode just crashed the game. What we're gonna do is we're gonna back up Unreal UNR, and we're gonna copy Big Level UNR in its place. And we're gonna see what it is. Oh, and check the icon. It's a cross, but with two armrests. So they probably already had some idea for the Nolly. Okay, so we're at the big level. God damn it, get back, you stupid cursor. Fire, fire. I think I saw this before. It's practically the same level as the standard Unreal UNR. What are we gonna see then? Is this little alcove I wanted to jump into, whether or not it will allow me to do so. No, it pushes me away as well. So whatever this is, it pushes me away. It's the exact same level practically, so we're gonna say goodbye to the November prototype. And we're gonna move on to the second old leak. The November prototype was recovered by Leo, and but it could have been also an old Where's release. I think Unreal Ed it was called. Don't know. We'll have to ask him again about that. But anyway, this is the more known prototype of the 95 ones. It was rediscovered very early on in the early 2000s. But it had only 4 out of 5 levels because Unreal UNR, which you just saw, it was overwritten in that copy, and it didn't have its own batch file. It now does. You can see 7 levels in here. 2 of them we already saw, and 1 of them is custom. Believe it or not, there was a guy called Spacehead on YouTube that has a history of porting and backporting levels to various Unreal Alpha versions. You'll see some of his handiwork. He made an original map for Unreal 95. So it is time for us to take the plunge and see what this is all about. We have 3 music files. We have 7 levels, 2 of which you already saw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show what happens in the 5th and 6th level by running the latter. Oh yeah, rookie mistake on Windows 11. If you run a prototype after running another prototype before it, first launch it with admin rights. Different music, Unreal S, because the batch file included just that. But yeah, this is the same level we already saw. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try jumping down this alcove, and you're gonna see how Unreal crashes and burns. Okay, here we are. Oh! It pushes me away without crashing. Sphere collision mistake. So on big level it does not crash. We'll see what happens on the standard version. Okay. Now, the authorship of this map is unknown, by the way. It wasn't signed with a name. Huh. It does not crash. The TCRF article mentions the crash. I've experienced it on other operating systems, and yet now what we're having is the sphere collision mistake, but we do not have this crashing in the game. So that's the second time a 95 era build behaves differently depending on OS, or depending on a specific configuration of the OS. Excuse me, I gotta clean up something on my monitor. And we're gonna move to further levels. We have Cliff, Eric, James, and John. Eric may be Eric Reuter, it may be Eric de Neve. Cliff is definitely Cliff Blashinsky, James is James Schmaltz, and John is John Dr. Sleep Anderson, the late mapper for Doom, Daikatana, and this. None of these levels in any way, shape, or form arrived into the final version. Level 1 is Eric. As you can see, the texturing art style is very high fantasy still. Now, if you ask either Eric that was working with Epic at the time, they would probably say they don't remember making this level. But the naming suggests that one of them did it, and this being 1995, I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't put it past them to just not remember making a showcase level like this. But that's all it is. A showcase level. I can't even reach the second alcove. But yeah, that's all this is for Eric's level. We're gonna move right along to the next. The second level is Cliff Blashinsky's. Hey, check this out. The Wizard. The Wizard, this time with 4 arms. It looks like the Nolly concept evolved from the wizard through this. Through the human-like Nolly seen in the 97 era builds and the February build, to what we know. Some of the coolest lighting effects of that era. So it is very obvious that feature-wise, they really knew what they were doing. And from the get-go, they tried to show off how awesome their engine is to draw in licensees. They were already in it for a long haul. Alright, that's it for Cliff's level. So we're gonna say goodbye to it. And we're gonna launch John's level. Oh, and there's Mark Rain's contact info in that. Another third music file. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump down there. At least not yet. We're gonna see the rest of the level first before I take the plunge like an idiot. And dead end. Another dead end. Another dead end. A symbol. I can't tell you what it was supposed to mean. Okay. We have everything checked in here. So, well, I wanted to take a thorough test, but that plan went out the window. Oh, yeah, I'm walking in there, dudes. I'm walking in there. I'm walking in air. I'm not even falling, dudes. Observe. I'm walking outside the structure. Say what you will, but I find this music awesome. Now another experiment I can do is try walking out the other window that's on a higher ground and see if I will walk on air at a higher spot or I will fall. No falling, so there is no physics of falling. I am walking higher than before. Okay. An interesting little tidbit. So, this will be the end for this level, and I'm gonna fire up James's level. Now, James Schmaltz, none of his maps ever survived to the final version. And to my knowledge, we have nothing but what is seen here. It's by far the smallest map of all the maps in the December 95 prototype. And that's pretty much it for it. However, I told you there was a custom map, so I will show just how much fun dedication can go. What you're seeing is not an official level of the prototype. It's also pretty small. But there is a body of water. There is no water physics. I just felt like a rock. But there are water effects on the texture, but no caustic effects on any of the walls of this pool. I think Spacehead meant to for those stairs to get the player out of here, but one of the steps is too high, or the game just bugged out. Because as you can see, I can walk in air again, or in water, but with no way of getting back up. So that's it for Spacehead's custom level for the prototype. And thank you much for watching this video. In the next video, I'll try to go over the 96 era maps and prototypes. For now, this is it. This has been Tiger the Great, aka Delacroix, for Unreal SP, signing off.